All right, I'll do one more reading, and I may or may not lose a subscriber or two after this because it's about Megan Thee Stallion. And I know that anytime I read her, I know which direction it's going to be in because I know the predicament that she's in after reading her so much. And it doesn't align with what her fans want to hear. But I go into readings about her knowing that, it's not going to align with what her fans like, even if the outcome is success for her. Anyways, I'm curious about how she feels about everybody talking about her being a pawn of Roc Nation, because anybody would want to feel like their success was their own. So I want to know if she feels any way about it. I don't think she does. I think she absolutely knows that if she's a pawn, I think she knows that she is. But I want to ask that specifically. Not just see it from reading another topic and seeing it from a peripheral, but I want to ask it head on. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up and speak to the soul, the spirit of Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion, and you can bring all of her protection and protective spirits. Bring them too. I'm not afraid. Bring them too. I wish no harm. Spirit, please allow me to conjure up and speak to the soul, the spirit of Megan Thee Stallion. Stepping into this Aquarius is like being on psychedelics. It's colors everywhere. I even feel a little different. Megan, I feel the need to crouch and tell her to come here, come out. Come out, Megan, come here. Megan, come here, come out. Speak your soul's truth. Speak your soul's truth, and you keep nothing hidden from me because you are safe here. You're safe here. Just speak your truth from your soul and nothing else. No judgment or condemnation. Speak your soul. I won't judge. I'll be honest, but I won't judge. Megan Thee Stallion, how do you feel about it being said that you are a pawn in the industry, that Roc Nation uses you against Nicki Minaj? They use you for whatever reason. How do you feel about that conversation? Do you believe in your soul that you are being used as a pawn, or do you truly believe that your success is yours because you earned it outright? And what would be your outcome in this situation either way? Megan Thee Stallion absolutely feels like she's one of the people brought into the industry to compete. Present position, though, she stands out amongst her peers. She's not the queen, but she's a league above her peers, the other rap girls. And allegedly, a lot of them were either brought in despite or to work with Nicki Minaj. But in the industry, there is a Nicki Minaj standard. There is a pink print. Nicki Minaj has come out in readings to me as the Empress, which means she would be considered the queen of rap. Not per my opinion. She's even come out as the Empress in my readings. The accumulation of all the queens in the deck. So whenever I read Lotto, Cardi, Sexy Red, or any Megan Thee Stallion, I see them as wands all the time. If you compare any reading that I've done on them, you'll see me pull the Five of Wands either upright or reversed. They are each other's peers. But whether they were brought in with, to work with Nicki or work against her, at some point, they were all either brought in to work with her or against her. Because at the time when Nicki came in, there wasn't this array of active female rappers. Some of them were more on the decline. They weren't all rapping about the same things to the same beats, with the same image. Missy didn't have the same image as Trina. Trina didn't have the same image as Eve. Eve didn't have the same image as Little Kim. I was there. I'll be 37 on Monday. I'm not just talking about this because my parents grew up. I was there. They didn't have to compete in that way, which is why these girls come out as wands, because they're on equal playing grounds. Well, Meg isn't. She's a league above them, but she's not Nicki Minaj. And she knows, though, that she's just one of the ones who were brought in around the either work with her or work against her package deal. Challenging. She feels like a pawn. To have the King of Wands, to have the man with the money behind you in your challenging position, and I'm asking, does she feel like a pawn? Well, the man with the power should be in her so below position, supporting her, not challenging her. So at least for my question, from Meg's perspective, allegedly, according to my opinion and my imagination, does she feel like a pawn to somebody? Yes. To the men that sign her, the various entities that sign her, and bring her deals. Yes. She feels like a slave to the industry, to these men, maybe just like any other person that's signed to a deal when they're in debt. But the challenging position is that she feels like a slave to a man with money, at least. And however this man wants to use her in the industry, because it's his business to do so, he can. Even if that's beefing with Nicki, if that's working with her, it doesn't matter. Whatever they tell her to do, because they cut the check and bring her the money, they do that. The recent past is her being signed to Warner, so her enslavement took a deeper level. Another entity, another man with money and power stepped in, besides just her manager. Not the magician, so she's not wholly independent. And advertising or marketing herself as independent is very misleading, because there isn't much independence for Megan Thee Stallion in her career. This is her recently being signed to Warner and having more people involved in her. In the near future, they're going to have to pull back on some plans they had for Megan for temporarily and reroute. This is usually my clear to close card in real estate, meaning everything's set for the closing date. Now all we got to do is show up. You can go ahead and pack your bags and prepare, for the Three of Wands, moving. Okay. If I get this, okay, well, the underwriter, instead of giving us the clear to close, they're going to kick back and ask for another document, maybe a bank statement or something. Maybe a letter from the bank or a letter from someone stating that the cash that's in your account was a gift or something. This is a rerouting of plans in the near future for Megan Thee Stallion. And allegedly, it could be due to something that Nicki Minaj is doing or not doing. And I only say that because I'm asking specifically, does she feel like she's a pawn against Nicki Minaj? So in this context, if one of her plans changed, I would say that it also has to do with Nicki Minaj. This is the fire sign card. The Magician. Remember I just said in the recent past, she signed to a label. I said that isn't the Magician. because that would have been independent, wholly independent. The Magician in reverse. This is also a card of lies and fallacies and illusions and manipulations. Black magic. You know, it is, but it isn't. She's independent in some way, but not the way that they're allowing her to seem like she is. And that's also to compete with Nicki Minaj because of Nicki Minaj's deal. When she got signed, she had a very favorable deal to her, and it set her up to be a power player now. Her being the queen of rap isn't just because of her music, it's because of her business. Saying that Meg Thee Stallion is independent is trying to, it's like putting makeup on her, you know, stacking her record with accolades that she didn't earn or deserve. It's like, yeah, she's independent, but if you read the fine print, she really isn't. And she knows that because it's in her crowning position. Now, here's the clear to close. The only decisions that can be made are based on who speaks up for her. The entities that control her, they give her the clear to close. And they're also responsible for her plans changing in the near future. There's something that she won't be releasing anymore. A single or something. Something. It's not working out. Whatever plan they had to make her a strong competitor and seem like she's a strong competitor on her own, it's not working. She looks like a pawn. That's external to her. And she is, so it's difficult for her to look like anything else because there's too much that goes into making her, giving her opportunities. If they weren't helping her, she wouldn't be booking certain things because she's not doing them on her own. And her hopes and fears, Megan Thee Stallion hopes that she can get to the point of more financial freedom. She wants to pay off all of her debts so that she's not a slave anymore. When she pays off whatever she owes, she won't be a slave anymore. So she's doing what she has to do to pay off her debts. And she's making some money in the process. Judgment. There will be decisions made in Meg Thee Stallion's favor by a higher power. And there always will be for as long as she is a profitable artist, because entities brought her from the grave of Carl Lewis's situation and the grave of not being sustainable on her own star power. Her sales and things don't align with some of the opportunities that she has. And there's a lot of money involved in giving her some of the platforms and opportunities that she has. It's like she's another Cardi B. There was a lot of money put involved into that. And for as long as I can see, for the foreseeable future, when it comes to her being used as a pawn against Nicki Minaj, well, for as long as they can use her, they will use her for whatever they need to use her for. When they need to call her up for something, they will do so because they own her. So they have the right, whether it's being against Nicki Minaj, whether it's selling an agenda, whether it's just making them some extra money on the side to go on, their annual vacations with their families. Whatever the case, that's why Megan Thee Stallion is Megan Thee Stallion. And it is for as long as she is Megan Thee Stallion, she will have help. And for the foreseeable future, they have plans for her because they got to make their money back and do whatever else they plan to do with her. I'm too hot to clarify. I see Jay-Z here. It's what Jay-Z wants for sure. Because Jay-Z likes to use people as pawns for power trips and power plays. It's business, but it's also personal with Jay-Z. Always. Allegedly. What are they going to pull back on? This was a decision above Jay-Z, though. This felt like somebody from Warner or one of the other executives that have a say-so, not Jay-Z. They want to pull back on something because maybe of what something's going on behind the scenes, maybe with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Maybe, just maybe, they did do a cease and desist or get their attorneys involved with Nicki Minaj. However, something was done behind the scenes, could be legal, and the plans changed. It has something to do with Jay-Z. Jay-Z is behind this, High Priestess. They're pulling back because Jay-Z and Beyonce are losing favor behind the scenes. They're losing out on deals already. I just did a Beyonce reading. This was in her main position, her present. And I said whatever she doesn't get from the country community, it's because they don't want to be involved with them because of what's going on with them behind the scenes. That's why Megan's project is being pulled back. Nicki Minaj's beef with Jay-Z is why Megan Thee Stallion can't do certain things. Yes, she's used as a pawn. They got to wait to see what Nicki is doing because it seems like with her silence came a change of plans. And because of some of the negative allegations because surrounding Jay-Z and Beyonce, Megan's whatever plans they have for her, they are on a hold for the near future. But in the outcome, obviously she'll still be working, but she'll be working because, you know, the entities that hired her to work make the decisions for her, whatever those decisions are. All right, love you guys. Bye. I want to say one more thing about the judgment from Megan Thee Stallion as an outcome. She could become a free agent at some point vis-a-vis management. The judgment could be she's up for grabs, up for bids. So either deal-wise, management-wise, her outcome, it seems like she may be released from something and allowed to go into something else. I just thought about the judgment as the outcome. And that's just a possible outcome. All right. Love you guys.